Limitless.
What a treat it is to see Rachel Ellering in a Limitless ring against Becca, no less. Both of these women have such an affinity for the pro wrestling game, and as we know, Rachel spoke to us backstage and said this is kind of her re-emergence onto the wrestling scene, and while she has 6.5 years of experience, she's traveled around the world, worked for every major company. Today is the beginning of the rest of her wrestling career. That's how Rachel Ellering's thinking of this.
The international pop star, fresh off of a recent tour of Europe. These women are bringing so much to the table in this first ever matchup, and the first time that they've even shared a locker room. They've done a lot of scouting of one another, but there's only so much that tape study can do, Sam.
There is, and we know that Rachel Ellering has the experience quotient here, but Becca herself has had many international tours in Europe, a polarity to Rachel Ellering's tours in Japan. So I'm curious to see how stylistically each of those experiences mesh out in the ring tonight.
Yeah, from competing WXW, Rev Pro, Pro Wrestling Eve in her most recent excursion, spent roughly 2 weeks overseas in Europe, and the international pop star back in Limitless. We are going to take it over to Rich Palladino to set the table for this matchup at #ReasonableDoubt.
Introducing first in the corner to my left, returning to Limitless Wrestling after a lengthy absence, wrestling out of St. Paul, Minnesota, the one-woman Minnesota Wrecking Crew, Rachel Ellering. Her opponent in the corner to my right, from Columbus, Ohio, she is your favorite international pop star, Becca!
What an exciting moment that we get to experience here, the first time that these two competitors tangle up, and it's happening right here at Limitless.
Certainly big match feel here. We know that Becca has been undefeated at Limitless since her return in September, defeating Lufisto, Kylie Ray, and tonight she looks to add a third notch in her belt in Rachel Ellering. But I know that Rachel Ellering is going to give her the fight of her life. Rachel has been all around the world, as we've said, but also has a powerlifting background, multidisciplinary athlete in high school. So she's going to come at Becca with a force.
But look at the intensity exchanged between Ellering and Becca. I don't think Becca's eyes have left Rachel Ellering, but some mutual respect that we are seeing. You know, Rachel Ellering said ahead of this matchup that she watched Becca's matches and she was impressed with what she saw. Quick tie-up, a feeling out process here.
Absolutely. Like you said, this is a first-time matchup, and while these ladies have done tape study on each other, once you get in that ring, you really don't know what to expect with a first-time competitor. Oh, but Rachel Ellering here having a little bit of fun with her opponent.
Wrenching Becca down to the mat. You can see Becca having no fun at all with all that torque being put on her shoulder. You know, too, Sam, we talk about the fact that Rachel has spent time in Japan. Becca has spent time in Europe. Stylistically, both of the experiences that they've had are so unique from one another.
Absolutely, like the European style, particularly UK style, we know is being a bit more technically savvy. Oh, Becca on top now. Whereas, you know, strong style, Japanese, that's in your face, striking, really like hitting you to the core. So how is this going to pan out here today?
We're certainly going to see. Able to reverse is Ellering, now grabbing the leg, taking Becca down to the mat, weaving her body parts around.
Oh, Becca trying to get to those ropes, but not quite. Rachel having a bit of a height advantage over Becca. They're able to leverage that, but Becca getting to the ropes.
This is all, I feel, part of that process. You want to gauge your opponent. Oh, gosh.
Oh.
No love lost between Becca and one of the fans here at Limitless. And Becca now trying to summon some of that positive energy here in Yarmouth.
The international pop star having some words with someone outside, a little disgruntled there, but back to the action, no less.
World traveled sensations are both of these competitors. And now,
Oh my.
look at that though. Rachel Ellering has not taken the pressure, goes right back to that shoulder of Becca, bearing down. Becca now struggling to make her way back to her feet.
In this moment, I'm wondering if Rachel Ellering knows about that previous shoulder injury of Becca's back in 2022.
I mean, that speaks to the experience of Ellering. You scout your opponent, you kind of suss out what makes them tick, especially in this first time matchup. Beautifully avoided by Becca. Becca now off the ropes, picking up steam. The head says,
Uh-oh, Becca's got something up her sleeve.
barreling in, but sent up and over out to the apron by Ellering. Oh, delivers one of her own, does Becca.
Oh, but Becca not one to give up top.
We've seen that 450 splash be so effective, but no cross body. Now the hook of the legs, not enough.
Oh, Rachel Ellering outside, composing herself
Another
a bit.
Another smart maneuver though. Take the
Yeah.
wind out of the proverbial sails of Becca.
But two, never turn your back to your opponent, especially someone like Becca who has so much speed and agility there. Yeah.
Speed, agility, but also Becca can have a bit of an aggressive side.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, Becca is here to win and to prove herself.
God.
I heard that chop from here, Alyssa.
Yeah, that was a dull thud across the chest of Ellering,
Ooh.
but Ellering dishing it right back.
Strong style in full swing there with that chop. The Japanese influence very evident there.
Yeah, style of Japan that Rachel Ellering admired since she was a child. And just years ago, and Becca clutching her pearls, gasping for breath, and trying to figure out rolls back into.
Getting back out. Okay. Still that awareness of the count, and Becca with that tenacity to fight back per usual, but she's got to be feeling it at this point.
But on by the damage that she's absorbed.
And the face of Becca, a little bit of a grimace there before that super kick was delivered.
The kick connects, and Becca asking a fan for oh gosh.
Uh-oh, Rachel. Keep your wits about you. Oh my gosh, what does Becca have planned here? She's coming in full force.
Whoa, off of the chair! Rachel Ellering set down at ringside.
Becca is feeling it tonight. So much left for her to accomplish here at Limitless. Keeping the streak alive, or so we hope.
And Becca, someone who has really come into her own and wants to keep up that positive momentum, the trajectory of her career. But again, Ellering knows how dangerous Becca can be from that top turnbuckle. Brilliantly scouted by Ellering.
And Ellering with her re-emergence onto the indie scene as of late, so much for her to prove. These are her words, so what better way to do that than in the Limitless ring, one of the most prestigious indies in the Northeast.
No doubt about that. Ellering barreling in with a forearm shiver. It sends Becca right down to the mat, springing off, leg drop. Hooks the leg, does Ellering. Becca says no.
There are not a lot of people who can kick out of that springboard leg drop. I have seen her hit that with much success, including in the Mae Young Classic.
You're not kidding, Sam. And Becca, I think that really just speaks to, I mean, you've talked about this, the tenacity, the absolute viciousness of Becca, who has so much heart and determination. Now kicked away by Ellering.
And Alyssa, to that point, we have seen Becca develop so much here at Limitless Wrestling. First on the road, kick to the gut. First on the road, but then coming into her own as the international pop star by sheer will, by sheer tenacity. No one made Becca. Becca made Becca. And I know I just said Becca about 5 times, but here we are. Oh my gosh. And that's where that powerlifting experience comes from. Did you know? Fun fact, straight from Lance Storm, her trainer, Rachel Ellering can deadlift 600 pounds.
That's a pretty high amount of Becca's.
That's like 2 of each of us. It's crazy.
trying to take away some of that power in the base.
And it looks like she's done it. Oh, drop kick right to the face.
God, clipping the knees first and then right to the mush of Ellering. The international pop sensation now putting some distance between herself and Rachel Ellering.
Perhaps a little too much distance. Oh, I was wrong. English drop kick connects.
Closes that gap with the drop kick, and now again, whew, straight shot right to the chin.
Oh, we know this one. Goes for the big boot, but Ellering had it scouted.
But takes a back elbow for her troubles. Now on that middle rope, drop kick again sends Ellering down.
Completely folds her up, cover. Not enough to get the 3 count, Alyssa.
If you are Becca, you cannot let this ruffle your feathers. Maybe you question what you have to do next, but you cannot waste the time. And exactly here, you gotta stay focused and right on top of your opponent.
Absolutely. In these pivotal moments of the match, it's about remaining calm, cool, and collected, and not getting frustrated, quite frankly. Oh. That's frustration.
Yeah, if it helps you release a flurry like that, if you're Becca, then so be it. Becca now springing off that middle rope, but caught by Ellering, shoved off the ropes.
Wow!
Oh, slammed! Straight to the cover for Ellering, only a 2 count.
I think Ellering for sure thought that was 3. She's gonna have to go back into her toolkit and reassess the situation. What would you say that Rachel Ellering has to do to defeat Becca here tonight?
I mean, Ellering has to rely on that power and that strength and take some of the speed out of Becca's arsenal. Once Becca picks up a full head of steam or gets to that top rope, that's where we know that it could be dangerous.
Yes, High Rent District is a place that Becca's very comfortable with. Oh, cover!
Weaves her way out, the shoulders are down, but jockeying now back and forth.
Ooh.
Rolled off by Becca. Oh, straight into a forearm shot.
Uh-oh.
Caught. Dodges the kick, does Ellering. Similar fate for Becca.
Oh, and it connects. What a physical match this is proving to be. So tit for tat between these ladies, each showing their unique arsenal in the ring.
But now Becca, we talk about the arsenal, we talk about what's in the playbook of the international pop sensation. This has ended more than a handful of matches for Becca. And as we can see, again, scouted by Ellering, grabs at the boot and does not let Becca get up to that top rope.
I think Becca thought that a top rope maneuver might pay off here, but now she finds herself in peril. Oh my gosh! Stalling super. Oh my!
And now that's gotta be it. Curtains for Becca. No! Becca's still fighting, and look at the face of Rachel Ellering, rethinking everything.
Ellering is beside herself. I don't think that she thought that Becca was going to be this much of a fight. Welcome to Limitless Wrestling.
You can see that very visible frustration for Rachel Ellering, that sideways glance at her opponent. I mean, when you've thrown everything in the kitchen sink at Becca, where do you go from here?
Honestly, I think at this point, she's got to use her experience and operate on pure instinct, along with that power that we've been speaking about. Uh-oh, well, this could be a moment where the tide turns, but, oh, Becca had nothing to do with that, wanted nothing to do with that.
Oh, a high kick. Ellering careening off of the apron. Becca, though, picking up a full head of steam, dives through and wipes out Ellering. Brilliant from Becca. Sends Ellering back into the ring.
And yet again, Becca ascends to the top. Could this pay off this time?
Will she hit it? Ellering is prone on the mat. The 450 to Rachel Ellering. Becca. And that's it.
Here is your winner, your favorite international pop star, Becca.
I'm a pop star.
I mean, Sam, Becca dug deep in this matchup. For all of the times that Rachel Ellering put the kibosh on her attempts at the 450, finally, with that going for absolute growth. What started as a Twitter exchange has developed developed into something very real. Two very heavy hitters are about to collide here at Reasonable Doubt as we welcome your Thick Daddy, Uptown Andy Brown.
I mean, that t-shirt might not have enough C's on it for how thick your Thick Daddy is. IWTV, Andy Brown knocking on the door, literally, of Limitless Wrestling World Championship contention. He's on a streak here. He's looking to keep it rolling. And when we talk about keeping it rolling,
Take it to Rich Palladino.
Introducing first to my right, from Los Angeles, California, weighing in at 245 pounds, he is your Thick Daddy, Uptown Andy Brown. His opponent to my left, from Augusta, Georgia, weighing in at 185 pounds, all hail Anthony Henry!
Andy Brown, not somebody accustomed to looking to lower body offense as something that he has to worry about. With Anthony Henry, that is something that has to remain in the forefront of his mind.
No doubt about that. And like I said, these competitors have had eyes on one another, an appreciation, going straight at it. But so far, dodging one another. No one just yet in the opening moments. And Brown telling referee Nate Speckman to get Anthony Henry back. Andy Brown, and maybe wisely putting a little kibosh on the early momentum of Anthony Henry.
One would say that one of the best ways to fight a weathered cage fighter is to utilize the cage. In this case, he's utilizing all the perimeter of the ring. Andy Brown, no shortage of experience, knows the situation he's in.
And using that mass to back Anthony Henry into the corner, but now Henry releasing a strike right to the hamstring of the Thick Daddy, and another.
And we know how much Andy Brown relies on that base to post on, to deliver those powerful upper body strikes. If Anthony Henry chops the redwood down at its base, what kind of answer does Andy Brown have?
That's a very good question. You can see, though, reaching out, almost clipping one another. Quick flurry from Henry. Brutal, devastating striker, doubles over the Thick Daddy. Andy Brown looking for solace, looking to get away from Henry.
And that the terrifying thing about Anthony Henry, his ability to change levels, but Andy Brown, his ability to answer, just as terrifying.
Able to answer, digging in with a forearm shot of his own. You can see, though, nursing the damage that was done to that hamstring.
That's the thing about Anthony Henry. He deals that damage quickly and in short stanzas. And he's so slick with it.
Oh, jeez. Colliding, Andy Brown, again, rolling out to ringside. Getting himself a moment to recover, but I don't know if Anthony Henry's going to let him have it.
No, not at all. The penalty kick, Andy Brown caught it. Wait a minute.
That electric chair position. Weaves his way out, though, and now catches himself before hitting the post. A back elbow to Henry.
Andy Brown on comfortable ground.
Cartwheel. Covered up with a super kick and a DDT at ringside on that hardwood floor.
Double A approved.
Andy Brown now obviously very proud of himself for his elusiveness and being able to deliver that shot. And it just shows how well Henry had scouted. He had seen Andy Brown, the cartwheel into the super kick, covered up, was able to defend himself against a possible super kick, but Andy Brown instead opting for the DDT. And now, jeez.
Not an answer for an answer. Anthony Henry set up our way.
And Andy Brown saying to start the count. I mean, Andy Brown's not above taking a count-out victory, I suppose. Here at Reasonable Doubt, the record book would show a victory over Anthony Henry.
The winner of our main event may be waiting for Andy Brown in the wings.
Anthony.
Slow to rise.
Referee Nate Speckman almost halfway through his count. Anthony Henry beginning to stir.
Crawling in the aisle way here at the Yarmouth AMVETS.
Andy Brown telling Nate Speckman to count faster. Oh, no, slipped off that ropes, 9, but Henry makes it in. But Andy Brown so wise, stays right on top, clobbering in with those shots, but only a 2 count.
No wasted motion out of Uptown Andy Brown.
Oh, God. Staggers Henry, now falling into a heap.
I can't recall I've ever seen Anthony Henry play the perimeter the way he is now. And that speaks to the sheer force behind every strike that Andy Brown is bringing.
Oh, but speaking of sheer force,
yeah,
devastating strike issued, but delivered right back by Andy Brown.
He did a death girl circuit this morning. That guy's ready to slug.
Certainly is. Oh, God. Anthony Henry sent down, sheer force to the mat. Was looking for that Big Daddy senton, but it doesn't connect. Now nursing the wounds to the chest, the damage to the back. Both competitors finding themselves staggered here at Reasonable Doubt.
Anthony Henry knows that Andy Brown puts everything and then some behind that Big Daddy senton. Capitalized on it. Now Anthony Henry ducking, bobbing, weaving. Irish whip now. Andy Brown with the reversal.
Ooh. Flipping the knee of caught, but Enziguri to the back of the dome.
Split second offense out of Anthony Henry. Now coming in hot. Andy Brown gets the boot up. Anthony Henry, though, an answer for everything, skips off into the tornado DDT.
And quickly scurries to the cover. Only a 2 count. Henry, though not deterred, does not lose focus. Shift positioning. Does he need to reply?
Oh no! Anthony Henry, a masterclass and player of the double stop in the top rope, but Andy Brown knows it.
Andy Brown rolling out to the apron.
Yeah, Anthony Henry missed narrowly.
Oh, a tease off.
The PK, Foley, center of the goal.
Straight to the chest, and now Henry springing back in, picking up speed.
Now the cartwheel. No!
Oh, no! Andy Brown, head over heels collision with the hardwood floor here in Yarmouth.
Seeing the Northern Lights off the Northern Lights suplex. Anthony Henry now forecasted the double stomp. Masterclass practitioner. Watch and wait. Oh!
But watch.
The climbing knee strike. Andy Brown, as good as it gets.
Looking for COD, but into the suplex.
Anthony Henry quick to follow up. Kamagoye.
Hooks the leg. That could be curtains for Andy Brown, but no.
That's across his face. You can't believe it.
I don't know if that was the force of will of Andy Brown or a muscle spasm from that.
I can't imagine. But Anthony Henry has a encyclopedia's worth of knowledge of what comes next, but a headbutt will stop all of that.
Oh, winding through, straight to the jaw. Oh, caught. Oh,
whoa.
Simultaneous stereo kicks. Stereo clotheslines. Can't take each other down on their knees. That's, oh my God, wiping each other out. Anthony Henry, Andy Brown, Reasonable Doubt.
Our Yarmouth faithful, that ovation telling us the story.
You can see Anthony Henry stirring. Referee Nate Speckman starting his count.
Anthony Henry showcasing frustration. He doesn't often get taken to this distance, but Andy Brown tonight has done it, and now fancy seeing you here.
Andy Brown egging on Anthony Henry, saying, is that all you got? Is that a question he wants the answer to, Johnny?
Andy Brown not elevating himself may be a mistake. That's a lethal kicker.
Curtains some English on this. Bringing up the kick pad. Caught. Oh, knee strike from Andy Brown. Into that cutter.
That high tempo offense.
Look at the rebound. Andy Brown makes the cover. Oh, but only 2 for Thick Daddy.
But quick to follow up. Tiger driver.
Sits into it, the cover. It's not enough for Andy Brown. Crestfallen as ever.
Andy Brown soaking in that Mitsuharu Misawa. And now, pondering the next move. He's got options.
He certainly does. I mean, in this position, does he try to muster the strength to go in for the finish him diving elbow? What is it going to take to keep Anthony Henry down?
That fatality pile driver. Options on the table. Anthony Henry welcoming it. Sweet death potentially incoming.
Finish him, but dodged. Well scouted by Henry.
Sunset flip. Andy Brown.
Oh, he hits it. Finish him. Is that enough? Only 2.
Masterclass ring sense from Anthony Henry. Knew where he was, knew how to answer that maneuver.
Veteran experience, still has the wherewithal, incredible instincts of Anthony Henry, who is still alive, if just barely here, Johnny.
And how many times have we witnessed Anthony Henry beat the best of the best by that veteran experience, by that ring awareness? And now Andy Brown, the thumb across the neck. We know what's next. Oh!
Straight into a knee. Anthony
Brain
Henry
buster!
now. Oh, look at that power on display. The cover from Henry. No. Andy Brown says no. Defiant as
But
ever.
Anthony Henry, that double stomp, potentially incoming. It ends them all. The best of the best.
Oh, God, that has got to be it. Lights out. Andy Brown. What?
One! Get out of town!
Andy Brown kicking it into another gear here. Catches another strike.
How?
Oh, God, caught. Andy
Pro
Brown.
cop flavor.
Andy Brown now being beaten to a pulp here. Anthony Henry laying in. Andy Brown covering himself. He's tapped out. Andy Brown tapped out.
Here is your winner by submission, Anthony Henry.